everybody, it's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get into front page news.
All right, well, there's been some information about this program that Joe Biden is trying to pass, the harm reduction grant that's offered by the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration and authorized by the American Rescue Plan. It's a grant program that's designed to help Americans who are struggling with substance use stay healthy and safe, to prevent overdose death and to find pathways into evidence-based treatments. Like all programs that use federal funding, these grants must adhere to relevant federal, state, and local laws or regulations. Now, the headline, though, the big headline is that that Biden is planning to fund a crack pipe distribution, a $30 million crack pipe distribution in an effort to reduce drug harm. And conservative legislators are outraged by recent reports that they're going to be giving away safer smoking kits. And so what they're saying basically is that they're going to be distributing drug paraphernalia, and that's what that money is going toward. But it's a lot more than just that.
It's part of it, though. I mean, the grant serves historically underserved communities, right? That's the nice way to say black people. And the underserved community part comes from the advanced racial equity funding. And the grant description requires the provision of smoking kits. But those kits do constitute just one of several things on a longer list for grant recipients. So yes, while the focus is on the outrage of crack pipes, that's just a small part of the program.
Now let me ask a question. This might sound stupid. How many people die from crack a year? Because crack is not one of those things that you hear people talk about. So how many people die from crack a year?
I have not.
Well,
have you heard people talk about dying from crack recently?
I don't know what your argument is. What's your debate here? Crack is whack.
I don't think
it's not just.
It's not. Well, what they're saying is that it's a lot safer to smoke than to inject, and so that's the reason for the pipes, because people also get diseases from dirty needles, and so that spreads infectious diseases as well. So they're saying smoking is safer than injecting.
You know, it was interesting to see people were outraged about this for a number of reasons yesterday, but it's crazy to see people outraged about this yesterday. But when Dr. Carl Hart was up here on the Breakfast Club a couple years ago pushing the same thing, but he was talking about heroin or just drugs in general, people were agreeing with him. But yesterday they was like, why would you try to make it safer for people to do drugs? I'm like, a couple years ago, y'all was mad at me and Envy for pushing back on Dr. Carl Hart for that.
Now, I'm just asking because so many people died from opioids and fentanyl and laced weed and laced cocaine and all that. So I was just wondering why the crack pipes right now.
Well, that's not all that it is. That's the whole thing.
That's just part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of different things, like facilities where you can test your drugs, places where you can get clean needles if you need them.
Same stuff Dr. Carl Hart was talking about. Same exact.
Places where they can reverse medication, and also, just safer kits, disposal and medication disposal kits, substance test kits, all kinds of.
Yeah, and the substance test kits, they have test scripts for fentanyl and other synthetic drugs, and syringes to prevent and control the spread of infectious diseases. Same stuff Dr. Carl Hart was talking about, literally.
And there's states that already do this right now, where things have been successful in other cities like San Francisco and Philadelphia. They've been also making efforts to establish these safe injection facilities, and they've seen other countries where people do it, and it actually really does work. They said Canada has the oldest safe injection site in North America. It's been in operation since 2003. And places can come there, test the quality. People can come there, test the quality of their drugs, get sterile injection equipment, inject their drugs under medical supervision. Because a lot of the reason that people die is because their drugs are contaminated and mixed.
Yeah, I wish they would focus on,
getting people off of
rehabilitation.
Yeah.
And
well, they said it's easier to identify people who have problems too, because then they come to those sites, and then you can also see who these addicts are and also help them get help. And research does show that it does significantly decrease overdoses, and it does not increase the amount of drug use. And if you guys recall, Dr. Carl Hart did speak to A$AP Yam's mother, and she wrote a whole essay about it. She said, to be clear, I recognize that parents, including me, should discourage drug use, but you should also know that my son wanted to get high, not die. And because this is the case for many young people, whether we like it or not, we should do all we can to keep them safe and alive. It's the humane thing to do.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I also agree that we should just try to keep them from not getting high. And I wish they would focus on rehabilitation more and mental health services to help people get to the root of their trauma that might be leading them to substance abuse. That's just my personal opinion.
I think that's part of it, too, because then these addicts can come to places and also get help. But like they said, it hasn't increased drug use. And they said once that place Insight opened in Canada in 2003, they have not experienced one overdose the entire time they've been in operation.
Well, this ain't Canada. Let's see how it plays out. And by the way, this program has been around. It's not like this is something new, by the way.
Yeah, some cities do this already.
Mm-hmm.
And countries.
It just sounds wild. And it's easy to attack Democrats on this because this is an administration that hasn't done anything for black people. So being that it hasn't done anything for black people, but it has the distribution of crack pipes under their advanced racial equity funding, that looks crazy.
All right.
That's just terrible messaging.
All right. Well, that is front page news. Now get it off your chest. 800-585-1051 if you need to vent. Phone lines are wide open again. 800-585-1051. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.